Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with each and every one of you. And my goodness, it is almost September. I don't know if your calendar is saying that, but mine is. It's amazing how fast time goes. I've been talking about that a lot this summer, how quickly time moves and goes forward. And now, as we move towards the end of August and we're looking ahead at the end of the year, there's a lot of shifts and changes that take place in the seasons, in the rhythm and flow of our days. And it's a really great time to really look at how are we navigating all of that? Are we choosing to lead with our heart, to rise with purpose and intention? Or sometimes is the day and flow kind of ending up in church and pulling us along? I'm going to invite us today during our conversation to really choose to lead with our hearts, to rise with intention and purpose, to be very mindful in choosing how we navigate our day-to-day rhythm of life and what we are looking to bring forward, what we are looking to impact others with. Because all these choices we make minute by minute, day by day, week by week, month by month, lead and create the life we're living and how we're showing up and the impact we're having. So these moments matter. And I'm so honored that you're choosing to spend some of these moments with us. So in order for you to get the most out of our time together today, I invite you to choose to be fully present. That means taking a deep breath in through the nose, all the way to the toes. I even wiggle my toes to make sure. Beautiful. And then out through the mouth, like through a straw. Keep taking those beautiful breaths. This mindful breathing helps bring us really connected and present. It helps us connect with the moment instead of thinking about the past and the future and all the other things we think about. This pausing and breathing helps us become present as we breathe in that beautiful supportive air and oxygen. It brings that support to every cell in our body. And as we breathe out, we're releasing all that no longer serves, creating room and space for more. The more that we want to give you today is support, encouragement, wisdom. We want to pour into you. And I invite you to be open to receiving everything that is here for you. As you're breathing and becoming present, this time is for you. I claim it for you to be able to receive. Beautiful. And in fact, let's put both hands on our heart. Let's bring our heart into the picture too. One of the things we're talking about is leading from our heart. So let's make sure we include it. So with your hands on your heart, you're breathing, close your eyes, you're absolutely safe. Just notice the beat of your heart and the little pauses in between the beats. In that pause, what is your heart sharing with you? What is it whispering to you today? Reminding you of, encouraging you with, asking for? What is it you need that will encourage you, empower, and support you? Beautiful. Let's take another deep breath. Wonderful. Eyes open, fully present, and take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart, what it is that you need, or your heart reminded you of, and you're willing to receive. I encourage you to write it down so it's not just swirling around in you, but you're actually making it real. You're bringing it forward into this reality now by writing it down. And then you want to keep that paper handy So you can keep writing down notes and insights and ahas that happened during our conversation today, both in the heart of what we're sharing and in the pauses, the beats in between the words that speak to your heart and spirit too. Be listening for those. As we continue to connect in and begin our time together, I'm excited to introduce our two amazing ladies that are joining us. I know you're going to enjoy their heart and their spirit and the vision and mission that they are on together and some of the exciting things they're bringing to the world. So I know you're going to enjoy learning all of that. But as we start, I want to start in that heart space. So Gabriela, I'd love to start with you. When you took a moment to stop, pause, and listen, what was laid on your heart?
Thank you, Rebecca, so much. I just feel like this conversation is timely, and I really appreciated the level setting that you did. For me, I think what's in my heart is to continue the work that we've been doing, which is so important to support each other, right? The world that we're living in right now is crazy and difficult and changing all the time, and we need each other more than ever.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I know that message resonates with a lot of our listeners with how we're navigating and experiencing the world right now. So important that we have each other. Exactly. Thank you. Esmeralda, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
It brought me back to my yoga classes. I recently learned how to breathe. Isn't that amazing that sometimes we think we're breathing, but we're not really breathing in? And you just brought us back to the heart of what we do, and as humans, as women, as leaders. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And I love how that mindful breathing and listening brings us to our heart. I love that. So thank you for sharing. And I love that we're bringing in some of those concepts because yes, we're getting some oxygen, but we're not always really breathing and letting that breath fully integrate and support us as powerfully as it could. So I'm so glad we're having an opportunity to do that today. Well, thank you for sharing, Esmeralda. I appreciate it. And listeners, I'm curious about what has come up for you, what you noticed, what your heart shared, or what you experienced even when you kind of stopped for a moment and just were present and breathing. As we go into our first commercial break, I'm going to encourage you to stay present, resist that pull of to-do list items, really give yourself the gift of these 2 minutes to breathe, to listen, to receive, and we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that opportunity to just be. It can feel so good to not have anything pulling at you, and you have this opportunity, this moment carved out just for you. So we have those moments built in throughout the show. They're disguised as commercial breaks, but secretly they are moments for you to be present, to pause, to integrate what's speaking to your heart and spirit. I'm excited to introduce our first guest to you today. You got to hear from her on a heart level in the opening segment. Her name is Esmeralda, and she is a retired U.S. Air Force combat veteran, keynote speaker, an international best-selling author. In her 26-year military career, she served in religious affairs, leadership, and supporting service members around the world. Today, she's a doctoral student and program director at St. Louis University of Medicine, co-founder of Latinas Rising, and she's passionate about empowering women through mentorship, leadership, and authorship. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the dynamic, powerful, and global Esmeralda Aharon. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. And I wanted to start our conversation with why. Why this work of empowering women through mentorship and leadership and authorship, all these different ships and ways that you are empowering them. Why is this work something that's so important to you that you dedicate so much time and energy and focus on?
That is such an excellent question. And empowering women began while I was probably a young person. I've been that for generations. I proceeded to do it while I was active duty as well. That has been near and dear to my heart. And now as a retiree, I do it as well. And I've always said that I love women. I believe that was placed in my heart to support women from a very young age. And I started by supporting my mother, helping her with translating documents for her. Spanish was her first language, or is her first language. And so I started at a very young age translating documents for her. And I've done it ever since, helping women in various ways in their personal and professional lives. And it brings me great joy to see them succeed.
Beautiful. I love that this has just been part of who you are and how you navigate in all the different roles or hats that you wear, that this is part of how you're wired and really continue to bring forward in the world. So I just honor and celebrate that. And I know that one of the ways that you're doing this with authorship, that I kind of mentioned authorship. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about the anthology projects that you've been part of and are bringing forward. And for those of you who are not familiar with what an anthology is, it's book compilations where there are multiple voices coming together under a common theme, a common leadership by the compilers. The leaders are the compilers of that project. And so Esmeralda and Gabriela have led one of these, and now two of these. We're going to be talking about the one coming forward very, very soon. And I'd love for you to share, Esmeralda, why? Why is that something that called to you? And if you could give us just a little taste of what your first anthology was about and why the second one.
Absolutely. So my friend, Gabriela Ramirez-Arellano, and myself, we had been part of another anthology in the past. And so we felt that sharing women's voices, specifically our Latinas voices, was so critical because in our background, in our culture, in our generational DNA, we have a phrase called calladita te ves más bonita. You look prettier when you're quiet. And so as we address this topic among ourselves, we were like, okay, our Latinas are still even maybe sitting at the table and they're still staying silent. So we started investigating about this topic and how we could bring our culture, our women to the forefront to speak up, to use their voices, to grab those opportunities. And so we launched Latinas Rising in 2024, and it has been doing extremely well. It is a compilation of 32 Latinas that said, Calladita no más, silent no more. And this is actually spreading across not just our nation, but across our borders. And we're helping other women rise and use their voices. And of course, once they have found their voice, then what do we do with that? We want them to be able to continue to excel, to mentor, to lead, to stand strong in their power. And that's where Amigas Rising, lifting others as we climb, comes in, where we know that none of us rise alone, we rise together.
Beautiful. I love it. Now, for those who are just leaning in, which I expect all of our listeners are leaning in with excitement and alignment in heart and spirit of what you're sharing in the rising together, how important that is. One, our voices being heard and shared are absolutely needed. Then two, this rising together. Can you share a little bit about Amigas Rising and when it's coming out? Because we always like to give our listeners a preview of what's to come so they can mark it on their calendar. I'd love for you to share that.
Absolutely. Amigas Rising, Lifting Others as We Climb, launches September 9th. We are super excited. It's going to be available through all of our networks, through our platforms. We will provide the links for people to go and purchase this book. It's going to be in digital format for just $1.99. So it's very affordable, very available to anyone who would like to support these women and how they're sharing their amazing stories and amazing voices.
Beautiful. I love that. An amazing rate of $1.99, but I know it's for a short window of time. So please, everybody, I like that 99. Mark on your calendars, 99. $1.99 for this special initial release of this powerful book. And not only is it lifting others up and supporting that, you can't help but be lifted up as you read their stories and are inspired by how they are choosing to show up in the world and share their journey and story with you. You will be inspired, empowered, encouraged, and we all need that in our life. So I encourage you, put this on your calendar, 9/9. We're going to be sharing it out as well, and would love for you to help come alongside us and help us reach as many hearts and lives as possible with this powerful book. Coming together as a community and lifting each other up makes such a difference. So here's an opportunity where we can do that on September 9th. And then I know other formats and things will be coming out after, but the special day is on September 9th for that special rate. So I just want to underscore that for those who are excited and leaning into the conversation. One of the things when you step into a leadership position like this, where you are leading projects like this in so many of the ways that you lead, that involves taking center stage. And some of us can kind of shrink back from that. I'll show up fully next time, or we will be at the table, but not necessarily share. I loved how you shared that earlier. So how do you help yourself take that center stage and own it and stand in it, and then help others do the same?
You know, I do it with courage. It takes a lot of courage to have the spotlight on you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not everybody knows that about me, but I'm an introvert by nature. Naturally, I'm an introvert. So when I do take the center stage, I have to do a lot of work within myself, a lot of breathing, even of this podcast. I'm doing a lot of breathing just to make sure that what I'm saying is reaching the hearts and minds of other people. And, but yeah, I'm doing it scared. I'm doing it, I'm walking, putting one foot in front of the other. And in knowing full well that when you have a platform, when you have a voice, there's a responsibility with that comes with that. So I'm using that platform and that voice to bring others along, to help others in their path, because it's no longer about me, but it's very much about how we are raising our communities, how we are raising other women, particularly other women now in our days that may not have that opportunity. Maybe they're standing by the shadows. We want to be able to bring them to the light. And by me being authentically me, that I hope is giving others permission to be authentically them.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, because I think we see things from the outside and we think things come easier. We're just seeing, but we're not seeing the breathing behind the scenes. We're not seeing the courage and that reminder of why I'm doing this, and the responsibility and the intention behind that. They are very purposeful in that, and how you're choosing to show up, even when it's scary, or even when there's some fear involved. You're choosing to continue to show up and really and authentically breathe, take the steps you need to be able to show up powerfully, and you keep doing that. And I think that is beautiful. And I appreciate you sharing that, because I know as an introvert myself, how important it is to have those practices to help you show up and really connect heart to heart with others. And that takes a willingness to trust others to receive your message and your heart. And so, listeners, we really value you leaning into the conversations, you showing up and receiving what we are bringing forward. So I thank all of you for leaning in. We're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. This is a great time for breathing, pausing, integrating, really taking in the messages that are speaking to your heart. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that you got lots of beautiful deep breaths in. Feel all of that beautiful support. And I encourage you to look back at the beginning of your notes. And we started our day talking about our time, I should say, not our day, our time. We talked about leading with heart, rising with intention, really seeing what your heart's message to you today was. And as we have had our conversation unfold, what additional support and thoughts and ahas have you added to that page? Let's keep that top of mind as we continue our conversation. We bring on our next amazing guest. I know you're going to be inspired by her too, and all that she has to share. So as we lean in, I'm excited to introduce Gabriela to you. She's a bilingual entrepreneur, podcaster, and advocate for inclusive economic growth. She's an immigrant from Mexico and is passionate about empowering women and first-time entrepreneurs through mentorship, storytelling, and community leadership. She's the host of, can you pronounce the name of your show? I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly.
Yes, Auténtico Podcast.
Perfect. Auténtico Podcast. And she led Badass and co-host of Rising St. Louis, of Women Rising in St. Louis. She is the co-founder of Latinas Rising, and she is passionate about helping bring women forward. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, the dynamic, and inspiring Gabriela Ramirez-Arellano. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate that introduction. I hear the crowd cheering.
That's right. My hands are raised. Crowd is cheering. Excited to welcome you to our stage today. I love it. But I'd love to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of working with women in all these different ways as a podcast host and a co-host, and then mentorship, storytelling, community leadership, all these different ways you're leaning in to support women? Why is that work important to you?
I think there's a lot of reasons for me. I grew up with that same understanding of being calladita or being quiet and it being considered a positive thing. And at some point, I realized that silence keeps so many of us from sharing our brilliance and our lessons and the truth we carry. And it took me a long time, much like Esmeralda. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to get to that space where you realize that showing up fully, whether it's messy, brilliant, imperfect, is part of being authentically you, right? And so it was really important for me to create a safe space. Um, a lot of times because the saying, to whom much is given, much is required. I feel like it's my responsibility now that I'm on this side to be able to facilitate and encourage and help other women find whatever their extraordinary life is supposed to be. And so I'm driven and I stumble and I fall, but I keep getting back up to make sure that other people see that that's the process, right? There is no perfect way to do anything.
Exactly. But it's that getting up again and you just keep going. And I like this, their extraordinary life, not just getting by, but that they can have an extraordinary life and that you just hold that space for them. I think that's really powerful as well. And then your authentic leadership of, we stumble, we get up, we stumble, we get up again, and we just keep moving forward. And your willingness and commitment to doing that you hold that responsibility so dear to your heart and that mission. Oh, thank you for sharing.
Of course. Thank you.
And I'd love for you to share as we're sharing a little bit of your story about why these anthologies, why Latinas Rising, why now this new anthology that you are co-compiling with Esmeralda. Why is this something with all the different things that you're doing that you feel led to bring forward?
Well, I would say that when we did Latinas Rising, it was really born out of the desire to break the silence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we quickly saw that it became a safe space for the authors to speak their truth out loud. And so with Amigas Rising, we just want to expand the circle. My own journey has taught me that when we speak our truth, we light the path for others, right? So part of that responsibility is to share what we've been through and the experiences we've had as a way to help others see that I am here, I matter, and I will shine. But it takes courage to honor our voices and to lead with our heart, right? So the stories are about us individually as the author, but it's also someone else's survival guide. It's an opportunity for us to think through that every time we silence ourselves, we also keep someone else from seeing what's possible. And so it's so important, even if we just start small, to share one truth, one lesson, one piece of wisdom, because every word helps us as the authors be stronger, but it really also just sets the tone for the reader to find courage in our own lessons.
Beautiful. And I'm feeling as you share, just our listeners leaning in and things bubbling up that they long to share. They long to bring forward, but perhaps on the other shoulder, they're hearing this, oh no, be quiet. Someone else will say it. It's not your turn. What would you say to them?
You know what? I would just remind them that their story is not just about them, that it's time to share it with the world, because authenticity does become an anchor. When you stop trying to fit into someone else's expectations and you find your true voice, that voice can help build communities, movements, and opportunities for others, right? I often think of another saying, which is Ubuntu, I am because we are.
Mhm.
It's a collective effort and a collective success.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, it's important that we authentically share our voice. We find our voice, but then we share it. And I'm even thinking, as Esmeralda shared, even if you're an introvert, your voice is needed and matters. And Gabriela, have you shared, as leaders, sometimes we fall down, we get up again. Like all of that is part of the journey. And it's not just we suddenly arrive at this perfect place. That's not true. That we ever are at this pinnacle place. We get to keep taking steps and we get to keep sharing and do that in community. And it's so important that we do. So as you're looking ahead at Amigas Rising coming out on September 9th, is there something that you're just really holding near and dear to your heart that you want to see happen as this comes out into the world for you guys as compilers, for the authors, and for the readers?
Definitely. I would say one thing is for the author to kind of take the momentum, and then for the reader to say yes to themselves. And that might mean carving out 30 minutes for yoga or a dream project or reaching out to a mentor or even just saying your goal out loud. Because, these big, bold lives, we're not building them overnight. They're built from small, intentional choices that stack up day by day. And so I would love for the reader to take in the stories and then start with one brave step, because that's how you get started.
I like that, one brave step at a time. It moves you in that direction. And I always like to say baby steps count. It's still movement. It's still going forward. So if that one step, that brave step feels too big, you can even dial it down into smaller pieces that you're taking on one step at a time. I love it. So as we look ahead, and we've written the September, all of us, I hope, on our calendar, have put September 9th on our calendar. We've marked that date. They're going to be watching for the links to get our copy. And that can be one of the steps you're taking, one of the brave steps that you're taking as you lean into bringing your voice forward. I'm curious about, how do you find the courage or the ability to step into the center stage yourself? And what is a tip that you would give to our listeners?
Well, I will say I had to go through a lot of coaching to get comfortable to showing up as I am. And Esmeralda and I have talked about this, because when we take pictures, she's like, you closed your eyes, or, this wasn't perfect. And I'm like, this is what I look like, right? Like just accepting ourselves. Because we are enough. And I think that that's something that oftentimes we struggle with, whether it's enough space, enough opportunity, enough success. But what we've seen working with the authors is that when we lift others as we climb, we really multiply possibility. The collective empowerment has been great, but it's also necessary. We need each other. Our communities, our workplaces, our families, they're all stronger when we rise together. And just knowing that and using those as my mantras, like, help me continue to support other women, because someone else, going back to my original thing about to whom much is given, much is required, somebody helped me. It's now my job to make sure that other people also have an opportunity.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And what is a way that we can do that? And what might that look like? Is there a practice? I know Esmeralda shared a little bit about breathing and making sure she's doing that breathing. I love getting used to and comfortable with who we are and how we are. Like sometimes the eyes are closed when the picture is taken, or the smile looks weird, or, but it's all part of how we are wonderfully made and showing up authentically. And then coaching, you got a lot of coaching and support. Is there a practice that we can look at to help us kind of build that as a lifestyle of showing up authentically, taking those steps and sharing our voice?
I would say one of my coaches that I work with during the pandemic, she gave me a framework that starts with asking myself, what are you feeling and what do I want? And so that really helps me understand, like, I'm feeling like I want to do this story, or I'm feeling afraid. What do I want to do about it? Because sometimes we just want to sit with the feeling, right? And so it's really about going through the framework and asking myself those questions. A lot of times what I want is for someone to help me, but I'm expecting them to read my mind. And you know how that, how many mind readers there are in the world? Not a lot of them. So asking for help has really just been my biggest way of figuring out, even if it's just sitting with someone. Today, when I talked to Esmeralda, I'm like, can you please just tell me to stop freaking out about this? Right? So asking for help is just so valid, but it's also so difficult. So I would just encourage us to think through about, how do I feel about whatever you're dealing with or you're having to take on, and what do you want to do about it? And a lot of times that requires that we ask for help, or that we at least share our insecurities with someone else that could help us talk through that. And the coaching has been amazing for me.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And as you were sharing that, I said, can you just please tell me to stop freaking out about this? As someone, if I heard that shared with me, then I feel like, oh, I can help with this. Like if I understand what someone needs or what they're asking for clearly, and I'm not trying to guess or mind read inaccurately, it helps build that authentic connection, and I can fully show up in that relationship and that connection. And it doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like a connection, actually, when someone shares, oh, here's what I need. Can you just do this? It's so helpful. And I think it actually brings us together versus creating any sort of a distance. I don't know if you have found that to be the case.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that a lot of times we just put so much doubt into our own world. And when you ask for help, or you're, building authentic relationships with others, it's really easy to get that support. And it can happen both ways.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I know that our listeners, I hope you've written some great notes down there. And I love that framework of not getting stuck in the feeling, but honoring the feeling. What is it? Identifying, sitting with it, understanding it. And then what do you want to do? What is your choice? Where do you want to go with this? Do you want to do something about it? I think is really powerful. What do you want as a result of knowing and sitting with or acknowledging that? Because I think we can just muddle it all together and get stuck. And I think that's a brilliant framework to help us untangle that a little bit, and then not be stuck, but really make choices, because we do have far more choices sometimes than I think we realize. as we're navigating our days. We are going to our next commercial break. So remember, listeners, an opportunity to breathe, to be present. And I encourage you, are there emotions coming up? Maybe as Gabriela touched on that a little bit, really take a moment and sit with them. We'll be back in 2 minutes and we'll continue our conversation.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and had an opportunity to really listen to your heart, listen to your emotions, and listen to who do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to bring forward? How can you more authentically show up and share that gift of you? When we were talking about the importance of your voice and your message, what kind of bubbled up to the top that you are leaning into starting to share? That wisdom, that experience, that journey, that message. There's a friend of mine that says, wisdom not shared is lost forever. It's so important that we share and bring our voices forward, each and every one of us. And I'm just so grateful to our 2 guests today who have really stood in that and shared their messages and shared their hearts and even shared, that they have the freak out moments and fear and the courage and the falling down and getting up, that is part of the journey in life. So as we reflect back on our conversations, I wanted to give our guests an opportunity, if there's this final message, as we were talking about bubbling up, that they have on their heart to share with you today. I wanted to give them the opportunity to do that. So Gabriela, as you reflect back on our conversation, is there a message or a piece on your heart that you want to share with our listeners?
Definitely. I would say that as we wrap up, the reminder that leading with your heart is not just about being courageous. It's also about showing up as your authentic self. And that's the spirit behind Amigas Rising. It's not just a book. It's really a movement and a chorus of women who are saying, we are stronger, we are higher together, and we are unstoppable. So my invitation to the audience is to lead with heart and rise with intention, and to let their story be the spark that helps others climb. And obviously, if you need proof of what that looks like, read Amigas Rising when it comes out on September the 9th, because these are the stories of the women who are choosing to shine. And in doing so, they're lighting the way for the rest of us.
Beautiful. Thank you. I was giving that a moment for everybody to drink in. And then, Esmeralda, I'd love for you to share what's on your heart as you reflect back on our conversation to share.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. I would say that every morning, every single morning is a new invitation to rise, to shine, and to lift one another. And that is exactly the spirit behind Amigas Rising, lifting others as we climb. It's that powerful anthology where we are sharing the voices of these women who have gone through certain situations, and now they're on the other side. Of course, that doesn't mean that we have conquered it all. This is a daily, sometimes a weekly, a yearly event for us. So getting up every single morning and deciding today's the day, today I'm going to rise and shine.
Beautiful. I love that. It's a daily choice. And I think sometimes, depending on the day, it can be a moment by moment choice. Okay, I'm going to still rise. I'm still going to shine, taking a breath, and I'm going to keep marching forward. Absolutely. Thank you. And I'd love for you to share the contact information for people that want to connect, they want to go deeper, they want to be first to get the link on the day of launch, all of that information. I'd love for you to give the best way for people to connect in.
Absolutely. I recommend that people follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Our name of our company is Latinas Rising, and you can find it on any of those platforms. We will definitely share all the links. And we really look forward to connecting with your audience, with the readership, because we know that these stories of these amazing women will inspire them to not only live a daily life, but also to take action.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I love that action part. We want to be inspired, uplifted, and encouraged, but then we want to take those steps and we want to move forward with purpose and intention. And that's key to us being able to lead with the heart and rise with intention. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Esmeralda and Gabriela, thank you so much for sharing. I know right before a launch, it is a busy time, especially when you're leading a group like you are. So thank you for spending time with us today and sharing your wisdom and insights with us. I'm so appreciative. And we're really looking forward to the launch on September 9th. Listeners, I hope you have a page or even multiple pages of notes of things that have touched your heart and spirit today in our conversation. And what I encourage you to do is to take a few moments at the end of the show. Sometimes we just click off and we run off to the next thing. Instead, take a couple moments, breathe. And what is one thing that you can take action on today that will help you align more with who you are authentically and powerfully, that you're able to move forward with purpose and intention? Perhaps sharing your story, your voice. Maybe somebody came to your heart and mind that you feel prompted or led to share something with. Or maybe it's, you know what? I'm going to ask for help. I do need help, and there aren't mind readers out here. So I'm going to reach out to someone and share what it is that I need encouragement in or support in. Whatever that action is, I encourage you to take a moment and highlight that, mark that, and then move into it, take action with it. That's how we can move forward powerfully and purposely. And one of the biggest gifts you can give in the world is more of you. There's no one else just like you. You are a gift, beautifully, wonderfully, powerfully, and authentically made. So the biggest gift you can give is being willing to share more of you. So as you take these moments today for you to be filled up and to be purposeful in your next action and steps, I hope you choose to bloom where you're planted and to shine, share out the amazing gift of who you are with the world, one heart, one conversation at a time. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.